Rico Nardini with Play Unplugged at playunplugged.com, and I'm here talking to Leah Sugar from Out of the Box Games. You may remember Out of the Box Games as the creators of the very wildly popular Apples to Apples. However, Leah informed me that that game has now been sold to
Mattel.
Wow, that must have been a huge coup for your company.
It was very exciting, but we're also really excited to have the opportunity now to bring up some smaller games and go back to working with our smaller retailers, our specialty stores, and continuing to bring out all sorts of new games and innovative concepts.
Yeah, and that's really awesome. One of the things I think that's neat about Out-of-the-Box games is one of the things we talked about previously is the idea that when you're playing with children, the game has to be interesting for adults, or else it's like work for the adults. And so when you're creating family games, one of the things you have to think about, yes, of course, there's a focus on kids, and a lot of these games are educational, but you also have to think about, are the parents going to have fun?
Absolutely. We try to make games that are going to work for the widest amount of people. So grandma can play it, and so can the youngest kids. But the parents are having fun too. And even if you play a lot of board games, they're still challenging for you, they're still interesting for you, and they're definitely different than anything that's out there on the market already. I think all of us have played way too much Candyland in our life that we want something where we can actually make a difference on whether we can win or not. And so we try to strive for that with each of our games.
Yeah, I think that's really important too. Having games that are child-friendly, but are also do have a strategy element and a way to win or lose that's more than just a random card flip or a random dice flip. On that note, what are some of the new offerings from Out-of-the-Box Games that you'd like to talk about?
Our bestseller right now is Word on the Street. It's far and away our bestseller. It's got an educational component, which is great, and also has the fun component. So we try to balance those out as well. It's played on teams, which is always really nice because then you can work with your team to come up with an answer. You're never put on the spot, and if you're playing with younger children, they can jump on a team with mom or dad and play right along, even in a 12 and up game.
That sounds really awesome. Now, I was told, I also was informed that you have a big version of Word on the Street that's going on right now at Origins.
We do here at Origins. It'll run from 3 to 6 each day, or by request at our booth, and it's a really fantastic game. Basically, in the board game, there's a street running down the middle of the board, and there's letters running down the middle of the street. One team sits on either side of the street, and on your turn, you get a category. So the category might be a kind of pie. So if I came up with the word strawberry, I'd move each of those letters closer to my side of the street. Strawberry is a great choice because it's got multiples of each letter in it. So it's got a couple of R's in it. You get to move that R actually 3 lanes over towards your side. You might capture that letter before the other team can capture it. And the first team to capture 8 letters wins. So when you're playing the giant game, you're actually running 50 feet down to move these giant letter tiles that are 3 feet by 3 feet. So it's really, really fun. Definitely kind of a wild and crazy game, and gets you out and exercising as well, which is great.
That's awesome. Kids must really love it.
Yeah, we've done it at a couple of schools, and it's great for a gymnasium. It's totally fun, but it also works great as a family game too, with mom and dad being able to help come up with the words and help with the spelling, but the kids love the running, of course.
Now, my understanding is also that we were talking about with Out of the Box, the 10 Days series.
Mm-hmm. The 10-day series has been huge for us. Like I said, we really tried to make all of our educational games fun first and educational second, because if they're not having fun, they're not going to play it. So the 10-day series is one that we're really well known for. It was created by Aaron Weisblum and Alan Moon. You might recognize Alan Moon from Ticket to Ride. But we have 5 versions of it for 4 of the continents, and then the USA as well. So we have one with the States as well. And basically, you're trying to make a journey through Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas, or the United States, and you're trying to line up your cards so that you can get from one place to the next throughout your 10-day journey. So it's got a little bit of a puzzle element in it, and definitely makes learning geography a lot of fun. We've had parents say that I had a parent come up to me and tell me that their kid won the 8th grade geography bee after playing these games, and I said, that's fantastic. And she said, no, my kid is in 2nd grade. So it's a great way to learn the geography in a fun and interesting way.
Yeah, and that's pretty unbelievable. And one of the things that I've read a lot about is this gamification of education, and how the achieving things in games really is one of the things that drives kids to learn, to learn the subject matter, is this desire to, because there's like this instant feedback, like you do better at the game by learning. And so I think it's actually a very helpful tool. I could totally see how kids would be becoming better at geography using these games.
Well, and I think one thing that a lot of people don't think about is that every game has this educational component of the socialization, and being able to be competitive, be cooperative, all of these different things that go on during a game that you really can't learn any other way than through play. Kids have to play and have to work with each other to get that socialization, and it translates directly to real world situations. Makes kids grow up to be better at dealing with difficult situations when they get out into the real world.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up, because that's like a huge part of the mission at Play Unplugged. We're all about face-to-face play, and so it's great to hear that Out of the Box is all about face-to-face play. Any last plugs you want to talk about?
I think that's about it. Definitely check out Vocabulary. That's one of our newest games. That one's kind of fun. It's got that feeling of apples to apples where it's a big party game, but you're creating words using different word parts. We've got a new one called Shake and Take Out this year. And then look for Bug Out, which is the youngest we've ever gone. That'll be 5 and up, coming out this summer.
Awesome, that sounds great. Oh, and can you also tell us what booth, if we're at Origins right now and you're looking at this video, which booth should they travel to visit you?
We're in booth 917. You can come and visit us there, learn all of our new games there, and we also have tournaments going on all weekend.
Awesome. Leah Sugar, thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
This is Enrico Nardini, Play Unplugged, signing out.